Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Handhelds. I'm Joey, and today I have 10 more Fire Emblem Romhacks for you to try, and we're going to do it on 10 different handhelds. I only have one in front of me, and I tried to look for Fire Emblem merch. The only thing I have is an actual figure. Unlike my Pokemon video where I had a whole bunch of stuff, we're going to have to get some more Fire Emblem things. So just like my Pokemon Romhacks video, I did a video on 11 Fire Emblem Romhacks a long time ago. And today we have 10 more. The 11 from that video were Bells of Bylin, Dark Lord and the Maiden of Light, the Lonely Mirror, Deity Device, the Four Kings, Justice and Pride, Souls of the Forest, The Last Promise, Sacred Echoes, the Sun God's Wrath, and of course, Vision Quest. Yeah, that's an awesome list of 11 games already, and so you're probably wondering, how did I find 10 more? Well, there are 10 more awesome ROM hacks for Fire Emblem. We're going to talk about that. If you need a guide on how to patch ROM hacks, so you understand how to do that, I'm going to leave a link in the description to a written guide that shows you how to do so you can play these on whatever you want. No particular order today, but let's start with Fire Emblem. One of 3 games on this list with retro achievement support. Fire Emblem was designed to be played in true Iron Man fashion, never resetting to restart a chapter, and the entire game is over when you have a game over. This is a gameplay-focused difficulty ROM hack for sure, so if you're looking for a challenge, this is exactly what you want. Now, obviously with emulation and save states, you can avoid a lot of that. There are 21 chapters, and this story follows a bunch of nobodies through war, as usual, but it's more about the gameplay than the story in this one. Next up is Fire Emblem Andaron Saga. I think that's how you say it, Andaron, you know what I mean. And this one was one that was screamed in the comments in my last video. There are retro achievement support, 31 chapters, and it is a fun one with a ton of features and things to do. This can get quite difficult, even on easy difficulty, and it's harder than the original games, but the challenge is part of the charm. It is the most controversial ROM hack on the list for reasons that we're not going to get into, but this is a nice, complete ROM hack, and it is well balanced overall, and it should be probably one of the first that you check out on this list. Fire Emblem Storge is up next, and this is a great short ROM hack. But it has a pretty fun story, and recruitment is done by hiring mercenaries, along with buying items, right at the start. You get a set number of gold and money to spend, and you have to purchase mercenaries, which is your team, as well as your items, and then you start play the game. All those choices are kept throughout the game, and you can't change any of them. There are retro achievement support here, and honestly, out of all the ROM hacks today, this is the easiest recommendation because it's short and it's super fun. Plus, every run can be different with how you recruit and spend your money at the beginning. Next up, we have a Fire Emblem 6 ROM hack, and it is called Project Ember. This is a gameplay and graphics overhaul of Fire Emblem 6, and it gives you a new experience. That alone makes it very interesting, along with it being the only Fire Emblem 6 ROM hack on today's list. There are a ton of changes here. There are different playable units, different events, new classes, and so on. There's a funny quote that goes along with this game, and it is by people who hate Fire Emblem 6 for people who hate Fire Emblem 6. I don't hate Fire Emblem 6, and I still enjoy this, so check it out if you want something different than everything else on today's list. This ROM hack took 14 years, and it just finished a few months ago, but Fire Emblem Dream of 5 is up next. This was originally based on Fire Emblem 7, but it ended up being a Fire Emblem 8 ROM hack. There are 41 chapters with a split route mid-game, 62 characters, and there's an actual story, and a ton more. The same lead designer from this ROM hack worked on another game on this list that's coming up, and that's going to be Drums of War. This isn't a difficult ROM hack, more medium in scope, and it would be a great choice for anybody to start with. Fire Emblem Code of the Black Knights is another Fire Emblem 8 ROM hack, with 30 chapters, 45 playable maps, and over 41 actual playable characters with 10 different endings. So there's a whole bunch of replayability here. This ROM hack is challenging, but it's not in a rough way. There's side chapters that are optional, 2 protagonists in this one, and there's a lot of choices that you can make, and they actually affect the story, which is why there's 10 different endings. This would be a perfect Retro Achievements game if they would add it, but either way, expect to play this a ton to get the different endings. Another ROM hack that just completed a few months ago, Fire Emblem The Dark Amulet, is up next, and the goal of this one is to build on Fire Emblem 8 while still feeling like Fire Emblem 8. It is a new story on a new continent with 30 chapters, 30 characters, and it is a more relaxed type of game. There is actually a really good story here with characters that you will actually remember, and so it goes beyond most ROM hacks in that way. Might be my favorite ROM hack on here, but Fire Emblem Cerulean Crescent is fantastic. Actually really good writing here with a nice different cast of characters, and they each have their own unique skills and effects. The story here is about an exiled noble that becomes an adventurer, and there's some comedic relief in all of that, and it's pretty fun. Like Dark Amulet, you are here for the story, so if that's what you want in a ROM hack, these two are great. Fire Emblem The Morrow's Golden Country is next. This has a campaign of 30 chapters, a whole bunch of interludes, and it is generally well regarded within the community as a really good ROM hack. The writing is pretty good here, just like the last few ROM hacks that we talked about, but there are difficult options if you want to push all of that to 11, and if you want a combination of good story with difficulty. This is a long game, so be warned, but it has great characters and it is super fun. Last for today is Fire Emblem Drums of War, another Fire Emblem 8 ROM hack with 22 chapters, 46 playable characters, and a whole bunch more. Broken record here, but the writing is great, something that a lot of ROM hacks just don't do well at. So once again, if you want a story, you have this. It's also a lot more nuanced and a grounded story, with hope being kind of a central theme in the story. That is all I have for you today. Now, I realize that 10 ROM hacks might be a little bit tough, and you might be wondering what are your top 3 to choose to go with. The beginning ones that I would start with, Fire Emblem Cerulean Crescent, The Morrow's Golden Country, and Andaron Saga. Those would be the top 3 on the list that I would start with if I were you. But you also have 21 total games now over 2 different videos, so you have a whole bunch that'll keep you busy for a long while. Don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about ROM hacks like Fire Emblem or retro handhelds. Support me on Patreon if you like my stuff. And hope you all have a good one.